Today we're going to be asking the question, do I have enough to be happy? The real deep happiness comes when you recognize your true nature. It's not like all the things that happen over here. It's like when you actually get who you really are. We have a body, we have a mind, we have emotions, we have all that experience, but there is some part of us, some part that's invisible. But this part of us, if you close your eyes and you withdraw from the world just a second, you realize, wow, that thing is as big as the whole world. This can become our deeper knowing of who we are. And when we know ourselves as that and feel that and let our attention be on that, there's a sense of happiness and a sense of peace. That sounds great and wonderful, but I live in this world. How do I become happy? To know at some point that money, just accumulation of money, probably in your case, maybe in the future, maybe right now, probably isn't going to be the thing that makes you more happy. So the question is, what do I do with the money? Well, it turns out there is a way that money can make you happy, and it's rather odd. When I first heard it, it's rather odd that the way that money will make you happy is by doing something for somebody else. And it doesn't have to be heroic necessarily, because according to this guy's research, if you gave your mother a purse, and even though she doesn't need another purse, but you did something for her, you have a sense of happiness. But also if you saved a kid by giving your neighbor enough money to buy malaria medicine, and that kid was saved, you also feel happy. So it's kind of like it really doesn't matter. It's like this idea, it's more blessed to give than to receive. Second way is to do with your life, spend your time focused on what really is intrinsically satisfying to you. That doing, when that doing is involved, it's not the doing that comes, oh, so I'll get this great outcome. It is what is intrinsically pleasant for you, satisfying. Do that doing. Do you know what I mean? It's like if you're doing it for the outcome, you may not be happy. Think about the people who have perhaps a job that doesn't pay enormously well, but they have, on a daily basis, they have a chance for satisfaction. If you're a teacher and you're teaching, that's great. If you're an artist and you're painting or sculpting, that's great. If you're a doctor and doctoring, that's great. If you're an entrepreneur and you're making something happen, that's great. But if we only find the happiness in the outcome, there's a really good chance we'll live in dissatisfaction or disappointment. The Buddha said that life is disappointment. When the famous phrase is life is suffering, what he meant was you're disappointed often. The suffering comes because we wait for the outcome, and then it arrives, and then either is good or not as good as we wanted. But if it's as good, then at some point it also ends, because all things that are manufactured end. All things in your life end. And so there's dissatisfaction on both sides. So life is dissatisfaction if it's about results, but it can be fulfilling if it's about the process and about what you're actually doing. I think the third one is this. There's a phrase by, it's over there. there's a phrase by somebody. It basically says, the most dangerous caution that you have in your life is to be cautious with your love. And I think our being, our net, the net of who we really are, needs to reflect this high aspect of who we are. And that is why when we give, we find satisfaction. And when we love, we find satisfaction. Now, I know that there's at least as many love songs about unrequited love or broken hearts and that sort of thing. So it doesn't have to be just romantic love I'm talking about. It can also be about loving your neighbor, loving your dog, loving the world as it is, just loving. To have this vibration of loving in itself is a is a stepping stone to deep satisfaction. But without it, there's not this deep connection, there's not this transcendent, not just about me feeling. It's like we're locked inside this body and this mind. And this body and this mind, as the Buddha said, is dissatisfaction. We must escape it. So 1 is to recognize your divine nature. 2 is to give. 3 is to love. Thich Nhat Hanh said, back to smiling, Thich Nhat Hanh said this: sometimes you're smile because of something that has happened to you that brought you happiness. Sometimes your smile brings you happiness. I think physiologically we're wired to listen to our face. One thing in the research about how to be happy, one thing about the research. Well, money couldn't do it, and fame and acclaim couldn't do it. But one thing that did seem to stick with people was being loved and appreciated. Let's realize we have enough to be happy. This question is easily answered yes. We have enough. We are intrinsically capable of happiness, just as we are. Nothing more needed.